Do you think the volleyball players are going to play volleyball every Friday when they skip school?
No.
What do you think they're doing? Do you think that the volleyball players are going to play volleyball when they skip school every Friday?
They leave every Friday?
Yes. Do you think they're going to play volleyball?
No, I'm pretty sure they're like making it with hot chicks or something.
Do you think the volleyball players are going to play volleyball when they skip school every Friday?
Yeah?
Why do you think they're doing that?
They're playing volleyball.
How do you know?
Players.
How do you know they're playing volleyball?
On Friday?
Yeah.
They said they weren't.
And you know you can trust them?
Yeah, I can trust them.
And how do you know you can trust them?
They're volleyball players.
What do you think the volleyball players are up to every Friday when they skip school?
No comment.
Personally, I think they don't skip school. I think they actually do play volleyball and bring home medals.
And how do you know this?
Because I've been to some of their games.
How do you know that those weren't farces? You know they weren't set up?
I don't like this anymore.
At Eden, volleyball is a big thing. The trophy wall is lined with awards run from Eden teams from the past several years. The morning announcements, they're filled with updates from the current Eden team. Volleyball really is the pride and joy of Eden. Students are conditioned from the moment they enter the high school to think that volleyball is all there is to Eden. It's really a form of Orwellian brainwashing, the way volleyball is integrated into every moment of these students' lives. But what if this all was a lie? I recently had a thought. What are the volleyball players really up to every time they leave school to play volleyball? Are they really playing volleyball? What if volleyball was a facade for something much more sinister? Think about it. The volleyball players leave school every Friday for a tournament. They travel all across Ontario to who knows what. Not one person asks them without a uniform what they're leaving school, what they're doing. They could be doing anything, and no one would be the wiser. I decided I had to look into this issue. So, I began my investigation right at the source, the Eden volleyball team. Austin Dick, setter or weak? Elijah Lopez, power. Greg Piggott, middle. Reed Markham, power. These are the volleyball players in question. I decided to begin by testing these so-called volleyball players on the very sport they profess to constantly play.
Alright, so you're on the volleyball team, right, Austin?
Yep.
What position do you play?
I play center and right side.
What does the setter do?
Set the ball.
What is the ball?
Ball.
Austin showed a very elementary understanding for a sport he claims to play all the time.
Well, I pretty much stand in the net, and I go back and forth and block, and then hit the ball when they send me.
What's the net?
The net?
The net.
It's the thing in the middle of the court. It separates our team from their team. It's about 254 centimeters high.
Greg seemed to know what he was talking about. It was obvious to me that he was the head of public relations for this syndicate of scallywags. Next up for me to question was Elijah Lopez. But for some unexplained reason, he was nowhere to be found. Was he running scared? Perhaps.
You're on the volleyball team, right?
Correct?
What position do you play?
Power or
What-
left side.
What does the power do?
The power hits from the left side of the court.
I thought you said that you were power or left side. You seem to be switching your story there.
Power and left side is the same position.
And that's all very suspicious. What counts as a win in volleyball?
A win is when you play and you don't lose.
Reed seemed very oblivious to the simple rules of a simple game. However, my interview had to end at that point, for I received a call from an ex-volleyball player who was willing to bring his testimony to light. For his own safety, he asked that his name be not released into this documentary.
So you used to be on the volleyball team, correct?
It's true.
How long did you play with them?
3 years.
Why did you decide to quit?
There's some inappropriate things going on during practices, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to be a part of it.
Who was the ringleader in all these events?
Reed Markham.
What kind of things did he try and get you guys to do?
I don't really want to talk about it right now. Maybe later, off camera.
This testimonial was condemning, but before getting the final word from these volleyball players, I decided to get some of the professional opinions of the administrative staff here at Eden. What do you think the volleyball players are really up to every Friday when they skip school?
I have my theories, but I don't think I can verbalize them and keep my job.
So what's the volleyball team really doing every Friday when they skip school?
You familiar with the Jason Bourne series?
Yes.
My theory is the volleyball team is a covert operations team. Run by the CIA. Mr. Pereira is actually a front man for the CIA. He's got them in training, and Fridays they're out running secret operations. Crossing the border into the US, all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
The verdict was in. Nobody thought the volleyball players were up to any good. But what did the volleyball players have to say about all these accusations? At this point, I was finally able to catch up to Elijah Lopez and question him before he got away again.
The volleyball players go every Friday.
Volleyball players? Honestly, to tournaments. Mr. Beep enters us in about 10 to 12 tournaments every year. Fridays, we're usually out and about, just playing volleyball tournaments, Mississauga, around here.
What do you guys do every Friday when you skip school?
I don't know if I can tell you that.
There have been a lot of accusations against the volleyball team for suspicious activities. Are any of these claims true?
No, of course not.
Has
but
that
it
ever
is
happened?
sometimes a byproduct.
It's a byproduct. Could volleyball players...
It depends. It depends who it is and where we are.
Upon further questioning, Reed would not admit which accusations were true. Later, he would even deny ever having said such accusations had any truth to them.
Will anyone ever discover what the volleyball players are really up to? We may never know. But one thing is certain. It's definitely not volleyball.
What's the point of your video, Mike?
Just answer the question.
Mike.
Is that code for something, or is it a volleyball?
Could be code.
What's the code? What could it be code for?
Confidential.
I think the volleyball players are really playing volleyball every Friday when they skip school.
Probably not. Who plays volleyball that much?
How do we know you're not lying to us?
Eating my word.
And how can we trust that?
I don't know, Mike. You just have to trust me.
Just on the down low, I've heard that Mr. P runs salsa classes and that the guys are learning how to dance.
Well, I don't know what they're doing, but they're not in chapel.
You're playing volleyball every Friday.
We have video footage of our Friday volleyball tournaments.
How do we know that video is not forged?
Why would somebody forge videos of us playing volleyball on Friday night?
These volleyball players are really playing volleyball when they skip school every Friday?
Good question. I think a lot of us ask the same question. The question is, when they play volleyball, are they really playing volleyball?